Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm back, I'm BV, I'm hanging loose. We're down here at the Bell Surf Wax Ranch, and I'm here with a man, the bucket list expert, the CEO of the bucket list coaches, the bucket list guy himself, Trav Bell. Welcome, mate.
Beautiful. Thanks for having me.
I'm stoked you're on the show.
Cool.
It's been pretty amazing since I left Engaged Technology Group, jumped on Instagram and all the other social media platforms, and Trav's popped up on my feed, and his storytelling and me storing, and we've been interacting for maybe 6 to 9 months. Hey, we're going to catch up, and today we're here, and we've been shooting the shit and having a good time, and mate, so welcome. It's great to have you.
Stoked to be on. I'll probably go for a surf after this too.
You? So Trav, you live nearby in Ocean Grove.
Yeah. Grew up down there, and like yourself, when you get too far away from the ocean, I start to convulse. Born and bred in Grove, and surfing, surf lifesaving, doing all that. Growing up, grew up as pretty much as a jock. So it was natural that I then went and did phys ed, and went from there. So, stoked, and only 20 minutes away from where we are.
Cool. And so you had some success early on in the business world in personal training?
Yeah. I was one of the first personal trainers to really running around Melbourne. And, back in the early 90s, when they weren't giving personal training certification out in Wheaties packets.
Yeah.
Enough about that. But I think I had the third personal training studio in Melbourne. And now obviously they're all over the place. But it was also the days when I had to actually explain to potential clients what personal training was. Now we just know what it is. But I remember sitting down with clients going, no, I actually do exercise with you, and we take you through, and it's like, right, so are we just talking about it, or are we actually working out? No, we were actually working out. But long story short, grew that, had 13 personal trainers working for me at my Richmond studio, and we had them dispersed all around Melbourne running corporate health programs, conference programs, mobile personal training, in-house studio-based personal training. We had to deal with 4 gyms around Melbourne. We could rock up and train any client, just give the gym $5.
Yeah.
At north, south, east, west, I thought I had it covered, and grew that. And then one of my employees at the time said, I'd love to do my own studio as well. And then I investigated franchising, got a business coach on board. 12 months later, we franchised in our first studio in Canterbury in Melbourne, and then it just sort of grew from there and grew to only a chain of 21 personal training studios in 3 states. That was my first business. Yeah,
and it was successful, and you're there training people's bodies, and and then a transition, like so many of us have in we get to the late 30s, early 40s. For some even earlier, had a transition, and now rather than helping people with their physical fitness, you're into their mental and their mindset. And
I loved and hated franchising as a form of business expansion. When everything's going great, it's all because of them. When everything's going wrong, it's all because of you. And they're not like employees where you can just sack it.
Yeah.
So you got to go through legal stuff and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I got into a pretty ordinary place, pretty sad place, as we talked about. Went through about a depression and relationship breakdown and whatnot. I really didn't like myself. I'm pretty creative, and when people have got a bit of a mission to do their own thing in an ecosystem such as a franchise chain, and they'll do anything to pursue whatever it is, whatever they want to do, and so we had a pretty cancerous kind of few people within that network that kind of just made me fall out of love with it. I love helping people. The end product of personal training, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But I lost people contact. A few things were going on, and I went, I've got to change. I've got this tattoo. I think I've got this around the same time. If it is to be, it is up to me. And I've got this other one that's like a little unicorn over a rainbow on my lower back. No,
I thought it might have been a Bart Simpson.
No. But But life is way too short, and you know, it was at that time where a friend of mine said, mate, because I found myself going to seminars, you know. I like to think I was a seminar junkie, but now I'm a dealer.
Yeah.
And so I was in seminars, life coaching, NLP, got all sorts of different personal development things, jumping up and down, high five, you know, massaging each other and the whole bit. And then someone said to me, Trav, why don't you do this stuff? You know, why don't you teach this stuff? And I've always been, my real study into personal growth really happened when I came out of school, you know, and I'm an avid reader, avid learner. So long story short, I put it on a seminar, and it was shit. Even I had 40 people in the room, the Western Bulldogs rooms in Footscray. Yeah. And I nearly had to pay people to be there. And Mum and Dad, little champions, were at the back going, what the fuck's he doing now? And so I about halfway through that, and I packaged in all the personal development, positive psychology stuff that I'd learned into this 3-hour seminar. They had 40 people in the room. About halfway through, I let everyone know that I'd had a list to do before I died. Since I was 18, I actually written down a list of all the shit I want to do before I die. Yeah. And I said to the room, well, this is all the stuff I want to do. This is why I set up this is really quick, and why I just got on with life. And I said, who else has got one of these lists to do before you die? That's my reason for getting up in the morning, really. And it was like, no, donuts.
No hands.
No hands. I'm like, what the hell do you want to do before you die? Like, seriously, because I believe that, businesses, our vehicle of business or our career, does two things, and two things only. One, it spits out cash flow, and it should spit out time flow if you do it right. For us to do the things that we want to do, yeah. So I say, that's what and double bonus though, if you love what you do and it's hitting your values, then sweet, you're actually of service to people. I said, why do you do what you do? And I realised at that time, a lot of people are just existing, they're sheeple, they're just going through life, waiting for someday the perfect time. And we all know by theory rather than practice that there is no perfect time, there is no someday. So I said, what the hell do you want to do, people? And then the room came alive. It actually made the seminar go from shit to not so shit. And then right at the end of it, Joe, one of our clients at the time, said, how's all this list to do before you died stuff? It's fired everyone up. It's like a bucket list. You're like the bucket list guy. I went,
that was it.
And then I went home, registered the domain name, and I was on the Google machine going, all right, well, who's like the Mac Daddy, who's like the king of bucket lists in the world? Oh, look, no one. So I called myself the world's #1 bucket list expert. Here we are.
Man, that's
7 years later.
That was 7 years ago.
7 years later.
And there was that movie. Who was in it? Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman?
Yeah.
Called Bucket List.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I talk about that and I show bits of it when I do, predominantly I do keynotes. And as a thought leader, as you know, mate, there's a variety of different ways in which we can get our expertise out to the world. We can write a book, we can do workshops, we can do retreats, we can do coaching, we can do mentoring. There's kind of 6 different buckets, I guess, that a thought leader can monetize their expertness through. For me, I've chosen speaking. I love speaking. I've got, I remember early on saying, what's the world's #1 fear? And it was public speaking, even higher than death. And I thought if I'm gonna, it's a domino effect. If I'm gonna push a domino over around fear, public speaking, I'm quite an introvert, believe it or not, until you put a camera in front of me, and then I'm more than happy to just go surfing by myself. And, just sit, maybe in the corner. Yeah. But then what was I saying? Blah blah blah. I forgot what I was saying. But anyway. I'll play on.
6 different buckets, monetize.
Speaking, beautiful.
Yeah.
So I chose speaking because it was one of the biggest fears of mine. Yep. And I know it was for a lot of people, and it is for a lot of people. So I went for it and did this talk. Went, all right. Well, I love coaching. You know, I love coaching, but one-to-one is pretty can leave you pretty time poor. So speaking for me is coaching one-to-many. So that was my main modality, and I went out there and started just helping people, you know, and that's what I loved about personal training, but now I can help people in all aspects of their life.
Yeah.
And I say a bucket list is a tangible life plan, where our career plan or our business plan should fit into our life plan and not be the other way around.
Sure.
You know, really overemphasize the work to live principle that we all know, and we've bought the t-shirts and the bumper stickers around, but we really do need to drive that home. The bucket list movie, coming back to it, this is the bit that I forgot, was about two blokes get given a cancer diagnosis and then they write a bucket list, and we all know that that's the stupidest thing on earth. That's why it's a shit movie. But unfortunately, human beings are so messed up that it takes a cancer diagnosis or a doctor and a lab coat to give you a use by date to have you wake the fuck up, and then people pivot on their priorities, their life priorities, right then and there. So really, and then they go and live their bucket list on the back of a cancer diagnosis. So a lot of bucket list bloggers and people out there putting stuff up on YouTube, they don't really like me that much, because a lot of them are doing it on the back of a diagnosis or on the back of a trauma or back of a massive emotional slap. And I'm like, why did you wait until you got that to go and live your life? So really, my whole reason for being is to wake people up before any such diagnosis, to get them to live their bucket list sooner rather than later and not wait for a perfect time.
Sure.
So that underpins everything that I do.
It's really cool, mate.
Yeah.
You know, I think in even, you know, my journey, leaving Engaged Technology Group, starting the future phase, and for the past 12 to 15 months, I've definitely been unconsciously traveling around the world, surfing the spots I wanted to go to, riding the mountains, seeing the things that I wanted to see, because younger in life, I felt like I missed the opportunity to do that due to circumstance. And it was kind of like, you know, I'm here now, I'm alive now, I'm going to go do it. And, you know, it's challenging, but you just got to go and do what you want to do. And but, you know, so many people wait, whether or not it's to chase their dreams, to start that business, to learn something new, and they don't need to wait.
No, they don't. And yeah, I was the same. I grew my first business, personal training, and I didn't travel at all. I did surf trips.
Yeah,
that was
it. The surf trips,
that was kind of it. And then all my mates, a lot of them went to Canada, snowboarded, blah, 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 blah. And so I feel like to a certain degree I didn't do what I wanted to do. But then when I started to get the taste of this bucket list guy stuff, I started to realise that everyone is waiting. You know, our whole society, the whole matrix is geared around superannuation. Is, we'll wait. I know, don't even. But why, you know, we wait until we fucking, I don't know if I can swear, but I'm going to.
Just hang loose.
We're hanging loose. All right, well, really, I'm really fucking hanging loose. But so many people are sheeple. They're waiting, they're sleepwalking through life, and it depresses me. And depression is one of my biggest drivers. You know, we've talked about that. Depression and the over-prescription of antidepressants in not just adults, not just in male adults, but in fucking teenagers.
Yeah.
Mate. Yeah. That's the shit that wakes me up. And when personal development, I've studied a lot of positive psychology. We've got the tools to be able to help people. I just feel I'm a servant in a way, a messenger to put some of these tools in people's hands. If I can do it from a one-to-many platform, then sweet. That's, you know, and 7 years later, it's been a tsunami of people coming back to me going, you know, I get sent GoPro footage, fucking videos, photos of people achieving things on their bucket list because of the stuff that I've had the privilege of maybe inspiring them through one of the talks, and they send back, you know, thanks, like that. I was getting a few at the start, and now years later, it's just constant. Every day I'm getting something.
I see them on Instagram, like the Instagram story.
That's only half of it, mate. Like, it's crazy. And my bucket listers now motivate me so much.
It's awesome.
And it's people are doing some sick stuff and way out, and I've done some stuff with them, like.
And so they should be, like so people
about.
should be getting out there and getting out of their comfort zones and having a crack. And if anyone follow Trav Bell on Instagram at Trav Bell to see his stories and some of his methodologies because they're really cool.
Yeah.
Mate, what for us we sit here and we say, get out there, have a crack, do what you're passionate about. For the viewers, what are some of the so help them out here. I want you to really help them. Why do you think they get stuck, and how can you help them unstuck them so they can move forward and do things they're passionate about and love?
Oh, look, it's pretty simple. People have just got to take time out of their lives to work on their lives. Number one, actually put. And I'm going to start with a bucket list, which is a really cool way of goal setting, but it takes into account all the SMART principles of goal setting and that sort of thing. And I've done a TED talk, happy to link it through to, of how I've got a thing called the My Bucket List Blueprint, of how to write a personally meaningful and holistic bucket list. A lot of people think they know what a bucket list is, but I rewrote that of what a bucket list really is. Travel is what a lot of people think it is. And going out and doing the Machu Picchus and the 7 wonders of the world, and that's all well and good, but it takes a lot of resources, time and money.
Yeah.
And that depresses the shit out of a lot of people because it creates that much inertia. Big goals create that much inertia that people don't even start. So, and involve other people as well. So I'm always suggesting start small. If it comes to travel, which is one of the 12 things that it's a 12-step. My bucket list blueprint is a 12-step program.
It sounds like NA or AA.
Sounds like AA.
But hang on.
Might know to fucking drink after.
But maybe this is it. There could be the thing that
this is it. Yeah.
Mate, I get it.
But it has set fire to people in a great way, and travel, which is one of the T's in there, is only one of the things that will hopefully inspire people. So it really gets people to think laterally about their lives and all this cool shit that they want to do. But as for your question, how do you get started? Number one, put pen to paper. I say you've got to separate your to-do list from your bucket list.
Sure.
And write it down somewhere and go to my website, the Bucket List Guy, and download some stuff from there. And that'll give you some guidance on the blueprint. But you've got to take time out of your life to work on your life and document this stuff. Get it out of your head. Get inspired by stories. How do you go and do it? Well, start small. Be a tourist in your own town first. For us Australians, have you walked the Sydney Harbour Bridge? It's fucking amazing. Have you been interstate? It's amazing. And when you start crossing off the small ones, it gives you the momentum and motivation to smash through the bigger ones. It really does.
It does, yeah.
It really does. And again, it's not what you think a bucket list is. So, for instance, what are some skills that what are some skills that you wanted to learn all your life? Get outside the norm and do something that's so in paradox to who you are, and that's where our real growth happens. But a lot of people, and lastly on that, is a lot of people think that this is all about ticks, all about checking stuff off your bucket list. It's not. It's all about the journey and the growth of who you become on that journey to achieving the tick. But more importantly, it's about the person that exists on the other side, the person that you don't know yet, and that's called our potential. And when you see your potential as like a 5-year-old kid learning a new skill, which we shelve when we become middle-aged and we start pushing the envelope, when we see that potential, puts a smile on our face, gives us happiness. And the famous positive psychologist Tal Ben-Shahar says, happiness is the ultimate currency. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So fall in love with that, and that'll give you hopefully enough of a chunky why to really get out of bed in the morning. But you've got to do a life assessment before any of this and go, well, am I happy? Have I got a fulfilling am I fulfilled? Do I want more? what if you got to the 80th year in your life? Would you look back on your life right now and go, I'm pretty stoked? Or you'd be like, no, we've got a lot of regrets. We're going to do something here.
Yeah.
So everyone's got their own journey. The last thing, as you know, as a coach, mate, last thing I do is impose. So I never say you should, you must, you have to. It's fucking their life.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't come and bitch and complain to me.
Yeah, that's it.
Or, when the tools are all there, the help is all there. And, I tend to wake people up when I speak. And people call me a motivational speaker. I just talk about fucking reality. And
as it is.
I give people what someone called it, you've just given me a virtual cancer diagnosis through your seminar.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Just brought death, bang.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's speaking about reality because so many, so many people, I'm not a real fluffy kind of guy but it seems to be getting results and people are pretty amped.
It's awesome. Mate, I had my near-death experience, which wasn't even close to death. It wasn't my cancer. There's so many people out there who are going through some really challenging times and just falling off a snowboard, hitting my head, and then my wife asking me questions and me not being able to answer them like I normally could. But quickly was the wake-up call for me that, hey, I'm not immortal and death is going to come, and I don't want to live on this planet and not do the things that are burning inside me. And I think something important for the viewers is, and Trev, you touched on it, that get real with yourself, have a look at your own life. Are you happy with your own life? And you've got to make sure that it's within you. It's not what other people want you to be, because
not from it. Don't put anything on that list from an ego point of view. Or looking good in front of other people.
100%. Because like a lot of people have said to me, you sold that business, you're killing it, you're winning, you're making money, and I said, yeah, but that might all look good from the outside through other people's eyes and what their aspirations are, but on the inside, I knew I had more to give, and I knew I had more inside me that needed to be released. And being a creative guy like yourself, it was like, I created at the start of the business to get up off the ground and with hard work with Jared and the rest of the team, but I needed to go and create again.
Yeah, 100%. And I add to that is we spoke earlier about all the trappings that comes with having money. It's all well and good, have the cars and this and that and houses, and I'm a minimalist. Like I've been through a divorce, and I actually got rid of 95% of the shit I owned. Like I blogged about it, and I got divorced, built a shed in the backyard, I put everything in, put my house on Airbnb, and pissed off and I won my ticket. And came back, and as an experiment, I literally just went like full on Nazi on it. Like I went, all right, I'm only going to get what I really do need out of the house. And I was only living there by myself at that point in time. Yeah. So I went to the house, and I had heaps of shit in the shed. And I went, all right, well, I need a pen. I went out, got one pen, brought it into the house. All right, well, I need that pen over the next month or so. Yep, okay, it stays. Went and got one fork, one knife, one spoon, and got only the essentials of what I needed back into that house. Still to this day, I've got rid of a lot of it, but let's say 90% of the shit in my life at that point in time, I did not need. And because it removed ego, I don't really care what people think, or I didn't really have a lot of people come around my house and go, I try to impress crew because I just go to the cafe.
Let's hang out. Do you have a spare pen? No, I've only got one.
No. But I'm like you, mate. Don't do things by halves. So, but I just found the burden of stuff that the materialistic world says we should be. Like for the last few trips overseas, I used to be a massive shopper. And now I've hardly bought anything. I just don't need it. I don't see value in it. Unless it really, I really got it. And now it's turned into this weird thing where I hardly buy a thing. Unless it's like I do this full-on over-analysis of it and whether I really want it in my life. Yeah. So I've kind of probably gone to the other extreme of minimalism. But and I know the minimalists.com as well, those guys, and they taught me a lot at that point in time. And so I've now got, a girlfriend, stepdad, 4 kids, and two 11-year-olds, funnily enough, boys, twins, living with me at my joint. And I'm starting to pay forward some of this stuff just, in how I lived. And the boys are like getting it.
It's great,
From
mate.
an early
That's good,
age,
isn't it? Yeah.
I know I've gone down a rabbit hole here, but
No, I think it's pretty relevant. I mean, yeah, I tried to fill up the hole inside growing up. As a teenager, more, and then as I got older, once the income grew and Engage, was kind of like, want to get more stuff. And I don't know, there's a lot of people out there who might be watching this in the corporate world, and they're getting great salaries and making shitloads of money and start accumulating assets and cars, and they start stretching themselves, and then they're looking for that change down the track, and they're like, fuck, I'm pretty committed here. I'm like, I actually can't get out of where I am because I'm so
pinstripe prison, as they used to call it.
Pinstripe prison, I like that.
At Macquarie Bank.
Yeah, right. So that's how I was, and it was kind of like when I left Engage, unfortunately we sold it and got a payout, I did exactly the same thing. I got rid of the chunky V8 Holden SSV Redline. It was a beast, mate. It was a sick car, and I got one that was more economical on fuel and better for the environment. And then I looked at the house and was like, we're using all this electricity, and I was like, fuck this. Technology's out there, went solar, the Tesla. Got the first bill the other day, $40 for a quarter.
Fuck, really?
Yeah. Because you asked me about that.
Yeah, I did.
So the first one was $120 for a quarter, but that still had some of the electricity charges on it. I got $40.
Wow.
So me and the missus were giving high fives at the time, like, going, how good's this?
Wow.
But I started minimalising, and I'm the same. I used to buy shit. Every overseas trip I went, I want to buy something.
Yeah.
And now it's like, my headphones are on their last legs. But those headphones have been with me a lot of places, and it's the sentimental value.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. Look at all the things that you hang on to, or that older people hang on to.
Yeah.
It's not the really material, it's the meaningful things.
Meaningful.
So, for people out there, it's whether this is relevant or not, but I think people have got to get real about what they truly, their why, why they want to do their bucket list. Behind every, and I've got this whole ticket before you kick it movement, and that's a whole other conversation, but if there's something that you want to achieve on your bucket list, do it from a personal why, a personal standpoint that gives you personal fulfillment, not because you're going to get the selfie. Yeah. As much as I've built my whole ecosystem on doing selfies and stuff, well, I do, but there's also another reason why I love being the bucket list guy, because all the stupid shit that I really want to do is now a tax write-off. No one from the tax office watches this, I'm sure, mate.
Probably not. Okay. Not on LinkedIn. Not on LinkedIn. Well, mate, it's been, we've kind of shifted and turned and gone over here and gone over here, but I think it's all really relevant. And I mean, there's a lot of people out there who, in my community, who are either looking at starting their own business, they're looking to advance in their career in the corporate world, or they're just looking to get some clarity around change or what to do next, right? Their future phase. So I'm kind of curious to hear from you, what's next for you? What's your future phase look like? What are you working on at the moment? And then I reckon we'll do the shuck and then we'll just go surfing.
Yes. Wind this up. Now, the future phase, and it's a beautiful, beautiful way to say it, because this is full on. What I'm in right now, I'm about to take off on the first wave of that future phase. Right, so many metaphors. I gave a talk over in South Africa to a company called Action Coach, which is run by a founder and franchised by a guy, an Aussie by the name of Brad Sugars. He's renowned as the world's #1 business coach. Why? Because Action Coach, as a franchisor in 76, 77 countries now, with over 1,000 coaches worldwide. Gave a talk at their global conference in South Africa, which is awesome. Straight after that, I did safari, self-drive, safari, Kruger Park with mum and dad, flew them over, climbed Mount Kilimanjaro with me. Cool. 70-plus-year-old man who nearly bloody died on that one, but it was a big tick on the list. And I've done a lot of stuff with Dad. That's a whole other reason why I do what I do. But it was at that seminar a year and a half ago, 300 odd people, and Brad said to me afterwards, mate, you're onto something here. this is from this guy, to get that sort of validation was really sweet. And let's come over to Vegas where he moved to. Let's talk about licensing out what you do. I'm like, cool. Up until this stage, I'd talked about, like, in the My Bucket List blueprint, L stands for Leave a Legacy. So it's not, bucket list is a lot of people think it's very selfish, but as you get into it, it's very, very selfless. It's what kind acts for others you can do. What sort of legacy can you leave? Who can you take along on the journey, etc., etc. So I went over to Vegas, had 2 days over there. Within about 15 minutes, him and I had a business plan crafted out. So now, 12 months down the track, I'm now selling licenses for people who want to become bucket list coaches. So now we've got coaches from Austria to Mexico.
That's cool.
And a bunch in Australia, a bunch in the
full
US.
Scale, right?
Yeah, we're blowing it up. And now I'm the CEO of that new company, sort of back in franchising licensing world. But I've said to them, don't put me in a fucking cubicle because I'm nowhere. So you don't want me to, I've got a big team in the US, team over here. I still run my shit from Ocean Grove just the way I want it. And I'm going to be that CEO. I'm, a lot of responsibilities and stuff, big business partner deal and blah, blah, blah. But you don't want me rocking up to work every day in a fucking cubicle. I'll drive everyone mad. So they can do that. But now we're in the midst of selling off countries, master licenses to countries, and then they partner with me of, creating licenses, basically to help go from one to many, me as a speaker, getting them to do it with their crew wherever they are in the world, because it seems to be getting some runs on the board for people of, we've got BL4K, which is one of the programs, Bucket List for Kids, and so that's we'll probably have that going by the end of the year.
Sick.
Yeah, so the coaches are running four programs. So we're in the midst of training our 4. So our initial coaches right now, and so they're just out there, and they're all parts of the world. It's so fucking cool. And they're all super pumped. So that's all our ticket before you kick it community, and we're all super pumped. They're all on mission, on vision, and it's so exciting.
Cool, man.
So exciting. That is my future phase. That's the sort of shit that, when you start out in business, you want to change the conversation. As a thought leader, what do you want to leave behind? And this is it for me. So stoked. I've got bucket list coaches in Mexico. It's weird.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah.
It's encouraging, it's inspiring. I reckon I'm a few years behind you in terms of the journey.
Yeah.
I think I can learn a lot from you. So why don't we look down the barrel? We're going to stand down the barrel and give the shaka, the Hangin Loose shaka. The shaka, which I know is the shaka. And then we'll go get some waves somewhere.
Yes.
How's that sound?
Do we put some of this on?
We'll put some of this on. Bell Surf Wax, of course. Nice. Super sticky, 100%. So let's stare down the barrel. It's over here. And you're ready on 1, 2, 3. Thanks, brother. Awesome having you on the show, mate. Been awesome.
Pleasure.
Take care, everyone. We'll catch you really soon.